welcome to the Death Battle cast. We are the cast and crew of Death Battle. I'm Ben, I'm the voice of Wiz.
I'm Sam, I write things.
I'm Sean, and I also write things.
And I'm Chad, I play Boomstick. We did it!
We did it!
First try.
We just need to get Sean on the show. That fixes everything, clearly.
Apparently.
Sean being the writer of Thanos vs. Darkseid, the season finale, which just came out, which is
Looking at the wrong camera there, but it's okay.
What camera am I on? Oh, that one. Hi. Hey. Me.
You're on the show every so often. You know how this works.
Right now.
Follow the red light. Sean's had a week.
Month, year.
Year. Which I believe this is our last Death Battle cast of the year. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah, because we're all hanging out with family and stuff for the holidays, and hope you guys all have a wonderful holidays through the next couple weeks. But right now, we are here to talk about the big climactic death battle that just happened.
Season finale.
Yes, the season finale, season 5 finale, Thanos vs. Darkseid, the most requested episode of the year by far. Holy shit, everybody wanted to see this.
It used to be Galactus vs. Unicron, and then Thanos vs. Darkseid overtook that.
Galactus vs. Unicron was really popular
the Transformers
several years ago. Yep. It's kind of died off in popularity in terms of suggestions. It's still something that I absolutely want to do. But, I mean, because Thanos vs. Darkseid has been a popular request forever as well. Like, it's just recently really picked up because of Infinity War and Justice League and things like that.
Bumblebee movie.
Bring it all back
Around.
Bumblebee's coming.
Bring it all back around and be like, man,
I mean, Unicron was technically in, what was it, The Last Night or whatever?
We shall not talk about that movie.
Well,
he's the Earth.
Bumblebee like comes out like next week, right?
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
Or it's out now?
It's Friday.
Something? I don't know.
It looked...
No, Aquaman is out now. Bumblebee.
Oh, is Aquaman gonna... I wonder if that'll suck.
I heard that it's corny but fun.
I feel like that's just the sub-caption to every time DC announces a movie. It's like, DC movie. Wonder if that'll suck.
Well, DC movies might have had a rough time, but they've been doing pretty well in Death Battle.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize this until we were partway through production for Thanos vs. Darkseid, but we have had, before Thanos vs. Darkseid, we had 14 matches of Marvel vs. DC characters, and they were tied at 7 wins each. So this was the tiebreaker.
Which is great.
And we're going to be diving into this episode real hard with a bunch of questions from you guys and spoiling the crap out of it. So if you have not seen Thanos vs. Darkseid yet, you should go watch that, because we're about to ruin everything for you. Case in point, we're going to answer questions about the victor, because it is a very complicated match. These characters... This season has been kind of a year of firsts, and one of the firsts that we've done is really dive into characters who are like reality warpers, something which we've tended to avoid in the past. Yeah, and Sean got both of them, both matchups, Fate versus Strange and Thanos vs. Darkseid.
And I felt like Fate Strange was like a good precursor to get me ready for what Thanos Darkseid ended up being.
Yeah.
Like a nice warm up to the main events. So.
But even before that, we had Raven versus Twilight, which is not quite the same degree, but Raven gets a little crazy.
Well, and the debate was heated in the office as to which way that was going to go. I remember that one took a little longer than, than most of them.
So when you get into these like crazy magic characters, like suddenly the rules go out the window because anything could happen with these ridiculous powers. But other firsts that I want to point out, because I believe this has been our best year of Death Battle yet. Yeah. Like best season of Death Battle. We've covered many of the most requested matchups of all time. That was like a theme of this year.
Well, all of them were from the top 10%, right?
Almost all.
Most of them.
I think except for like 2.
Yeah. Roshi Jiraiya and something else.
Raven Twilight.
No, it was Leon versus Frank and Raven Twilight. Or no. Leon versus Frank and Carnage versus Lucy.
Yeah.
Were the ones that were not from the top 10%.
Yeah. Raven Twilight too, though. That wasn't.
No, that wasn't the top 10%.
It was. I know that was requested a lot.
Because that was tied with Raven versus not Scarlet Witch, the other one, Jean Grey, the Phoenix. Which
Phoenix.
We've covered that several times.
Phoenix for
But so lots of highly requested matchups, including 13 all-new franchises that we've never represented in Death Battle before, like Tekken, Elfen Lied, and Samurai Jack. So,
JoJo was
some awesome new franchises that we've never been able to really explore before, and it's really cool to finally do them. including Sora versus Pit, one of the longest, most requested fights that we've ever had, and I was always kind of concerned that it was like a minority, sort of like a loud minority kind of request thing, but we did it. Turned out awesome. I'm glad we did. And I'm glad you guys requested it and kept requesting it, because that's what ends up getting these episodes made. You guys, and we love that.
First time Wiz and Boomstick were animated.
First time Wiz and Boomstick were animated, and they will continue to be animated for better or worse. No, the animation team is doing a wonderful job with them. Really appreciate them. First episode's written by you, Sean, and Genevieve and Liam. Getting a whole new writing team together for this, which is awesome. You guys have been doing a fantastic job. First live action death battle with Ismahawk. Fucking crazy. I never thought.
We were on like a Twitter moment for a while that like got out there about
that was cool.
The cool.
Yeah. And in 3D, in the realm of 3D, we started using the Unreal Engine, and Torian had his final battle with us as he moved on to Genlock. But he handed off the torch to Christina and David, who, as you guys can probably tell from Thanos vs. Darkseid, have been doing a fucking phenomenal job. So, yeah, I think that worked out pretty well. Thanks for teaching them, Torian. We've had some awesome music tracks from Werewolf the Airwolf, Brandon, and Omega Sparks, including Wings of Iron. And
my favorite death battle track we have ever done.
Yeah, we've done so many amazing tracks this year. All of them are available on iTunes for you guys, because we just love what these musicians are able to do. They're so talented. And of course, our 100th episode, Mario vs. Sonic, in collaboration with Blind Ferret. It's been eight years of craziness, but we made it. We've done over 100 of these things.
Did a lot of stuff this year.
Yes, including the most epic season finale I think we've ever done, Thanos vs. Darkseid. Let's jump into the questions, because we have 9 questions to cover from you guys that I've pulled from Twitter using hashtag #DeathBattleCast and the comments on YouTube and the Rooster Teeth First post that came out on Monday. And some of these get very existential and weird because the characters are they're just
existential and weird.
Yeah, crazy like that. So first question. Sean, Mr. Writer, Mr. Full of Answers.
Fire.
Why wouldn't Thanos defeat... Okay. Spoilers. Darkseid wins.
What? But DC always wins.
Oh, no.
How can we do? Of course. Sorry. That was a lot of comments. I was like, yeah, of course, because DC always wins. And like Ben said, 7-7. So now it's 8-7.
Well, actually, let's cover that real quick. A lot of comments that I saw, were, of course, DC's gonna win. All their characters are God characters. Like, there is this common conception that the difference between Marvel and DC is that Marvel has a lot of human characters, while DC has a lot of God characters.
Right.
Characters that are built to be gods. And that is true to a certain extent. DC Comics started at an earlier period when comics were very much seen as the modern mythologies, and they very much borrowed from mythologies, but Marvel's done that too. Like, Thor is not a human character at all.
Right.
He's fucking absurd.
Except for that one time when the dude was using the Thor Force thing, and then he could turn back into a normal. Nah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, Marvel has always tried to put in a human element to their main characters. So Thor would like switch over to his other alter identity who doesn't have Thor powers or whatever. But whenever he went into Thor mode, like, good luck.
God of Thunder.
Just drop him as son and he's fine. But I mean, DC also has human characters. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily count Batman because he's just ridiculous, but like Green Arrow. He's just a dude who's good at shooting arrows. And he's also super rich, but you know.
That always helps.
I think that goes a really long way.
It does.
Especially in comic books. Like, wealth is really good in comic books.
Yeah.
Do a lot.
DC doesn't quite have their Spider-Man that is like really successful. The like everyday kind of guy.
Yeah.
A lot of their characters are very much, there's something really special about them, clearly. So there's definitely some disparity there. I wouldn't say that, you know, all DC characters are more overpowered than Marvel, as we've seen.
I think there are just more beloved DC characters that happen to fall into the more godlike realm, as opposed to Marvel, which again I think it's that more human element.
DC has a lot of the characters, but if you're gonna do like Justice League, Avengers, like there's more gods in the Justice League.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
That might be where it kind of stems from, because like the Justice League started with Superman, who's like one of the most powerful people out
exactly.
there. Whereas the Avengers started with like Iron Man and Captain America.
Yeah.
And sure, Hulk was there, but actually no, the very first Avengers story was a bunch of superheroes who aren't gods teaming up to defeat the Hulk. So yeah, that might be where like the disparity really started.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's start answering these questions.
Sorry, yeah,
We got a bunch.
Yes. So why wouldn't you count Thanos defeating Darkseid's avatar as the victory? That's the Darkseid people know, and we're expecting to fight Thanos, not some other weird version, Sean.
Because that's not true Darkseid. Sorry. True Darkseid is an ideal of a feeling of anger and tyranny.
That's not the character.
And if
not
we
the
were
character.
just going to choose one, we'd choose True Darkseid, and him being in that reality would destroy it.
Yes.
Well, the avatars are like a weapon. essentially.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yes. The avatars are essentially a weapon, and they are still the Darkseid you know and love, just in a shell.
And I know there is some debate over whether or not Grant Morrison's version of Darkseid should be canon or whatever, because this is comic books, and there are hundreds of different writers who write all these characters, and all these different writers have different ideas for how these characters should work. And the guy who wrote the story where Doomsday beat Darkseid, apparently somebody reached out to him and was like, well, how is this possible if Darkseid is like the true essence of tyranny and whatnot? And he responded by saying, oh, well, that's not true at all. It's like, well, whatever.
It is.
It is now. Like later on in the story, it's revealed he's true Darkseid, and that's more supported in later stories by other writers. So it's not like we can't just ignore a whole part of a character's story because
It's OP as
we
hell.
don't like it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So second question, if the Infinity Gauntlet did not give Thanos the win, then why include it at all? If you remove the Gauntlet and the anti-life equation, since Thanos and Darkseid don't always have them available, would the victor be different?
Short answer, no. But like, very simply, it comes down to the fact is like, this is the Thanos that people are most familiar with, the one that wields the Infinity Gauntlet. And yeah, sure, Cosmic Cube, Heart of the Universe, blah, 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 but like Infinity Gauntlet is the one that you think of when you think of Thanos rocking one of his many artifacts.
And we've talked about why we included the Infinity Gauntlet. He made it. He's collected the gems like 17 times or whatever. Out of all the characters in the Marvel Universe, he would be the one to wield those kinds of things in a death battle scenario.
And people, if we didn't include it, would just constantly be like, well, it would have been different if you'd given him the Infinity Gauntlet.
Exactly.
And also, if we didn't include it, then Thanos doesn't stand a goddamn
Not a
chance. Like,
Not a chance.
there's really nothing he could do at that point. I mean, he's certainly super powerful, but
Right.
not Darkseid's.
Not Omega.
Thanos can control time and reality, so why does it matter that Darkseid's speed is greater than his? This kind of goes into the same question. It was important for us to examine all aspects of the character because, like, what if the Infinity Gauntlet isn't included? You know, literally, this is the question we just answered. Would Darkseid and Thanos be more evenly matched or whatever? And
all feats
it's
are
important for us to acknowledge
Yeah.
everything because Death Battle isn't about finding that one specific occasion where a character would win. It's about looking at all the different outcomes and how often a certain character might win or lose. So we got to look at literally as much as possible in every sort of aspect and scenario.
And, and the only thing I want to say on that, because I'm sure somebody's raising an eyebrow, there are specific instances where because somebody possesses a very specific one thing, it makes them win, and that's different.
Right.
If that makes sense. You know what I mean? I just wanted to put that out there because I know we've come across that
absolutely true.
Yeah, I'm
a couple
talking about
times.
scenario,
Right.
not necessarily power.
Yeah.
But like when we stack all of them against each other, it's like there just seems to be more scenarios in which Darkseid would come out on top.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Question 4. Batman and Mr. Miracle have escaped from the Omega Sanction. So isn't it believable that Thanos could find a way out?
I mean, first of all, like the fight is completely for entertainment purposes. So like Darkseid could have just vaporized him out of existence, and that would have also been a kill. But also, like Batman was supposed to escape because he was like a living bomb.
Yeah,
And
that was pre-planned.
His escape was purposeful. And then the Mr. Miracle escape is like, you and I dived into this like a week ago just to kind of, we were going back and double checking our facts. And it's weird because he goes into a black hole and we know for sure he's in the life trap, but like, it seems like it was kind of a challenge from Metron too, for him to like,
It's
go
possible
through
that
the
it
journey.
didn't actually happen, that Metron just put him in a fake version of the life trap. It's also possible that it did happen. It's another
very
Grant Morrison
vague.
story. It's
Yeah.
all this like vague, lofty stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, Ben.
If we were to look at it literally, yes, he went into the life trap. However, there's a couple different things that happen. Well, first of all, Mr. Miracle has the life equation, right?
Yes.
He's immune to the anti-life.
He's immune to the anti.
Second, he's got a mother box.
Yep.
Like the last mother box. Mother box
with
XXX.
the triple X, yeah.
It's like a special one.
Yeah.
That
It's the porn
and
one.
When,
Sexy?
Yeah.
it's got all the porn on it.
It probably has all the porn on it. I wouldn't call it sexy. It's just a square.
It's literally all the porn in the universe.
Mother box XXX.
I mean, what else do you think it's gonna have?
God.
And there's this moment where Darkseid realizes that the Mother Box soul or spirit went into the life trap with Mr. Miracle, and he kind of freaks out. He's like, "Oh shit, that's a problem." And then the doctor, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
ZZZ or whatever.
No, not ZZZ.
No, not that
the
guy.
other
The other.
They were stressed for creativity. over
Doctor,
here.
It's one of the new gods. He says, it shouldn't be a problem, but Darkseid is kind of concerned about it, or they're kind of concerned about it. And then it goes back, and it seems like the Mother Box is what allows Mr. Miracle to communicate with Omega,
Right. The personification of
entity
the Omega effect.
of the Omega effect within the Omega Sanction,
Yeah.
which never appears at any other point. So it's a little vague how that works, but long story short, Mr. Miracle has a lot of special circumstances.
And let's not forget that Mr. Miracle's actual superpower is being the universe's greatest escape artist.
That is his superpower.
That's like
he
his-
can
that's
escape
his
anything.
power. He can escape
that
anything.
story begins with him literally dropping into a black hole, saying, "I'm just going to escape this."
Yeah. So,
Like what?
of course he
Okay.
would escape it because he's like the one person who should be able to.
And regardless, let's just say that even if there was some way for Thanos to escape it, it wouldn't be immediately, and that would be enough to count as a win.
Yeah.
I mean, to a certain extent, I would argue that if he were to show back up and kill Darkseid, if that were a chance.
Like, what? You got that little Pikachu?
could
In like
count as a
50
win.
years, or like,
But Darkseid would just
vaporize
disintegrate
him.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, you escaped. That's weird. All right, you're just dead for good now.
Yeah.
I honestly just wanted an interesting death.
Yeah.
Because
That's our whole thing.
unfortunately, because of the nature, for whatever reason, a lot of these most popular requests have ended up with victories where it was almost kind of necessary to just completely obliterate the other character.
Right.
So we have a lot of disintegration deaths this season, and I didn't want just like another one.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Are you watching any anime?
Oh,
Yeah.
watching
And the light gets really bright, and then they just shadow turn into pieces. There you go.
Why did you not give Thanos the Cosmic Cube or the Heart of the Universe? Why didn't you give Darkseid his Soul Fire powers?
Cosmic Cube has limited potential. That's why they have to keep making them. And then
And it's not his.
it's not hit. I mean, it's an artifact, but it's like you have the Infinity Gauntlet. It's way better. And then Heart of the Universe and Soulfire, like in most cases, are non-canon. Like even the Marvel editor.
They're like one-time things.
Yeah. It's just like it's a one-off thing. And the Heart of the Universe is so weird because it's like the implication is that he would have been able to absorb Darkseid in the same way that he absorbed Eternity and the Living Tribunal and stuff. But then that's not really killing him. Like it's not even how that works. So I don't know if the Heart of the Universe
'Cause
is
it's
really
like,
the
oh, you
answer.
just ate like a piece of him?
You like ate him and then you spit him out later. I don't know.
And then True Darkseid is like, well, that's weird.
Yeah. It's so
Like,
weird.
over
I've
there
been
in this-
inside you.
Let me just step into your reality, and again, it ends.
Yeah. Well then, there's that whole thing. So.
Couldn't Thanos use the Infinity Stones to ensure that the Omega effect could not exist in the 616 universe? An interesting idea.
Yeah.
But then it's just a stalemate at that point.
Yeah, and I still, I feel, because we thought about that a little bit of like him maybe using the Soul Stone to like be able to understand how that works, but I feel like it takes some pre-planning on his part too, of like
He would need to
knowing
know.
the Omega
Yeah.
effect and then,
Yeah,
Like-
well, theoretically, the Mind Stone, theoretically, the glove could give him an omnipotence that allows him to learn about Darkseid's true self. We even have a tab that mentions that theoretically he could discover Darkseid's true self, but he couldn't actually affect him because he's in another universe. There is some issue with giving the glove powers that has never actually been shown.
yeah, explored
Like,
in the
yeah,
comics
it gives
themselves,
him
right?
omnipotence over his own universe, but can he read the mind of an avatar that is connected to another multiverse?
Right.
That doesn't really happen in the comics, so it's a little hard to base an argument around that.
you
And
assume,
Right.
but you don't know.
No, we don't.
and
want
even and again, even if he could, it would just end up as a stalemate, and we don't want it to end as a stalemate. That's not the scenario we're looking for. We're looking for the most scenarios where a character wins. This is a similar kind of question. If Thanos is omniscient with the gauntlet, couldn't he learn that Radion is Darkseid's weakness and create some of it in a weaponized form?
Yeah, sure. But he'd still have to go to Fourth World and actually interact with true Darkseid and shoot that bullet at the weird face thingy.
Yeah.
To actually affect him. With
as we established, the Avatars are more powerful than Thanos himself. So if he goes into the Fourth World, he doesn't have the gauntlet. Even if he has the Radion thing, Darkseid Avatar just bitch slaps him.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, it's fine.
And there is so like for most new gods, when you get hit with that Radion bullet, it pretty much kills them instantly. But even in Final Crisis, it mortally wounded him, but he would have died eventually from the poisoning.
Batman is not supposed to kill people.
Right, but then basically the Black Racer has to rip his soul apart, and then Superman has to hum.
Yeah,
so
that's
it takes
true.
a lot.
In order
to kill
for the
him.
gun to hurt him, a whole sequence of events. Orion had to rip out his heart.
His true form.
His body fell through the universe. Black Racer had to tear his soul out.
Comics are weird.
Yeah.
And he had to get a mortal form because he appeared in a body.
The mortal
human
form
body.
is what actually got hit with the Radion bullet, which started the poisoning on his body.
His second mortal form, because that's when he possessed.
Yes, Ted, whatever.
Ted!
Some guy. Ted.
Brother of Steve.
There's a lot of stuff that happens.
Yeah, it isn't like that one bullet fixed the whole thing. Like it would have just been one part of a many-faceted.
Yeah, it was actually one of my favorite comments I saw on the YouTube.
On the YouTube?
YouTube episode, or on YouTube post.
All of us jumped on you for that
On the episode on YouTube was, we should all congratulate Screw Attack on their victory for figuring out Final Crisis. Because it's so confusing. It's such a mess.
You know what? We didn't, by the way. We did not figure out.
We figured out as much as we could.
As much as we could.
But once it gets to Superman Beyond, and then there are story vampires trying to eat the universe, and
The fucking dude. Oh.
Darkseid. I need people to understand this. When Darkseid dies, his essence is so important to the universe that it breaks apart fiction in a way that story vampires who eat fiction in between the realms of fiction and us, in our world, come into the fictional universe and start eating all stories everywhere. And if Superman doesn't go into limbo and thus the in-between universe, along with Nazi Superman and Ultraman and a bunch of other characters.
There was like a horse in a Superman outfit, and like a giant rabbit.
If he doesn't do that, all stories will cease to exist, and we, in the real world, won't have books.
Man, drugs can come up with some crazy shit.
Dude, it's like they got way out of hand. Like, I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but it wasn't good writing. It wasn't. That was a fucking shit show.
If you're curious what I'm talking about, look up Cosmic Armor Superman. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. I mean, I'm sure plenty of people like it. You know, we talked about the difference between Marvel and DC with God characters versus human characters. Another big difference would be how they do deconstruction stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
When Marvel does deconstruction stories, you get Deadpool and like
And
Gwen
Flash.
Stacy and like silly characters. When DC
Spider-Ham.
does deconstruction
Oh, why did I put Flash?
stories,
Sorry, it's DC.
Yeah, Spider-Ham.
Yep.
When DC does deconstruction stories, you get like super existential shit, like Animal Man talking to Wile E. A character based off of Wile E. Coyote, learning what pain feels like.
Yeah.
That's great.
Or questioning existence because you find out that you're a fictional character. Like,
See, at least I can follow Flashpoint, even though it's like dealing with like Speed Force and all that bullshit. Like at least that was like, the Flash can run really fast. He can fuck up time. Cool, I'm there with you. But like,
Flashpoint makes sense. It's like, hey, Flash, if you don't do your Flash thing and reset the universe, both universes will die, kind of. And like that's the basic of it. It's like the Flash needs to run so fast he restarts the universe.
It's ridiculous,
Both
like, we follow
his
it.
universe and the other universe where Bruce Wayne dies instead of his parents, like both of them go away to make one new universe. And like, yeah, it's not I mean, it's not the best, but the Flashpoint. The
You understand
Flashpoint.
the concept of
comparatively-
running.
You're following a character
Right.
who is still
Yes.
bound by some laws of physics, even if it is comic
And I
book.
want to say that you just said that about the Flash.
Yeah.
And the Speed Force.
I mean,
that's how fucking crazy
Gravity
Crisis
technically
is.
affects the Flash. like,
You watch the animated movie for Flashpoint, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, it's not that fucking wild.
it's not.
but then you get to the stories where Superman is fighting across all time and space to stop vampires from eating the books that you read right now. And then there's a moment where he feels you turning the page, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
It's like never-ending story.
Yeah.
And they hear Bastion, and he's like, what? That's what it is.
All Final Crisis needed was a luck dragon, and we would have.
Dude, if fucking Superman comes flying in on Valcor, which he does not need, I'm there. Like,
I'm not.
I just picture him just, yeah, just flying.
Somebody wants to Photoshop that for Chad James.
Please do.
you.
I would love to see that.
All right, and then the last question that we just need to get to real quick is, if the Infinity Gauntlet doesn't work in other universes, why would Thanos choose to go to Darkseid's universe at all?
He didn't.
There's no way Darkseid could force Thanos to leave. Well, he does in the battle.
Yeah, he did in the battle, but like,
We don't really have enough time to explore this in the battle itself, but we kind of talk about it in the rundown. The best way to defeat Thanos is to appeal to his character, more specifically his ego and the lack thereof, because he's got some serious
Self-doubt.
self-doubt and issues with
Yep.
himself, and if he's failing to kill you, you can manipulate him into a trap, which Darkseid is an expert at. We even mentioned that he's an expert at manipulating people because he has 18 divine senses and can just sense how you're feeling and what you're thinking and things like that. So yeah, Darkseid could pretty easily figure out how to lure Thanos into his dimension.
And then there's
even then,
a
it's
whole
still
argument to be
possible.
made about anti-life and whether or not it would affect Thanos
Yeah.
with the gauntlet on, and maybe it would, and then maybe he would just be like, now walk through that boom tube, and there you go.
Or maybe it wouldn't because of the Mind Stone. Again,
Maybe
that goes
not. Like,
into
we just don't know, and the anti-life
theories
is
about the
so
gauntlet that we
abstract.
just can't. I mean, we could guess,
But we don't know.
It's hard to establish facts that to base a death battle argument around, a victor argument around, is specifically what we're looking for.
otherwise the story vampires will come.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, and we don't want that. Nobody wants that.
All right. So thank
Story
you guys.
Vampires, though, do win every death battle, pretty much. Story Vampires versus Story Vampires win.
What about story vampires versus Deadpool? Because he breaks the fourth wall.
No, they can still eat him.
Yeah, I'm
They
with
can
him on
eat
this
the
one. I think they
story.
still
He
eat
I
him.
actually
still
don't
is
remember
a story.
if they imply that they will also eat real life. I think that's kind of a thing.
So if they consume all fiction, then they start eating the world?
I think so. I think that's what it kind of implied. That so Darkseid's death
But
literally opens up just
it kind
all
of
of reality. just
implies
being
it
destroyed.
that I thought it was more so they would make life black and white by taking fiction away.
Oh yeah.
It was more of a metaphorical.
All of us would
yeah,
just be soulless.
yeah,
horrible
'cause
people.
we
We would
wouldn't
lose
have-
No
like,
imagination.
creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of the
essentially
human-
free will would go away, kind of thing.
That's where that
We would
book of
lose,
unlimited stories comes from, and then it ended for a bit because oh no, the story vampires are gonna ruin all stories, and then Superman reset this book of infinite stories.
Tired.
It's DC gets crazy.
There we go.
If you're interested in something in totally fucking your brain,
Yeah, you want to go down a rabbit hole?
look up Final Crisis and Superman Beyond Final Crisis. It's good. Also, you can look up Seven Soldiers. It's another Grant Morrison
Also,
thing.
you should totally look up New 52, where Grail and Darkseid work together to fight Superman against the Anti-Monitor. That's so good.
Yeah, we didn't even go into
It's so bad.
Baby
good.
Darkseid.
Oh, Baby Darkseid. Oh,
when Darkseid gets turned into a little baby that Batman uses as a gun.
that one time when Lex Luthor gets the Omega effect, and then Steve Trevor gets the anti-life equation.
yeah.
And
They literally just need any story. They're just we need a fucking story. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. We kind of primarily stuck with pre-Flashpoint Darkseid because unlike during the Crisis thing, Darkseid did get a reboot during
Yeah,
Flashpoint,
Euxis
and he
became a farmer. Sounds really familiar.
became kind of stupid. Though.
Anyways.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching Death Battle this year. We had a blast doing this season, and thank you guys and the rest of the Death Battle staff, the animators, writers, editors, musicians, so many people this year to thank. I really
Research
appreciate it. I'm
team.
super proud of all you guys. This has been such a
Well, thank you,
phenomenal
Ben.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's just, I've just been thinking about, getting to episode 100. I've been thinking about how it all started way back when.
It's crazy.
And where it's come.
Yep.
It's just nuts to me. I don't know.
You had an idea because you watched a angry debate on a Versus forum.
I watched an angry debate that I got to from watching Monty Ohm's just like silly battle between Samus and Master Chief, and was like, what if we actually took this seriously?
And then 8 years later, it's a company.
Right?
What have I done?
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. And hopefully we can continue this for many more years to come.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, 100 more episodes.
Woo!
Until we get to
How
the
many? That'll take us like 8 years, another 8.
less than that,
Less
than
technically, because the
It'll take
first 2
6.
seasons were like
About 6,
all over
yeah.
the place.
About 6
Yeah.
more years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
My son will be in middle school.
Holy shit.
And you can
don't
start
do that.
watching it.
I know, then you can finally start watching it.
I'm still terrified for the day that my kids find all the stuff I've done on the internet.
No,
But it's
no.
coming.
Oh, boy.
And then I've got some explaining to do.
I'm not, because I didn't have kids.
That's true. But on the flip side,
here.
when they go and be like, oh, you think that's bad? Let me show you what Uncle Sam did.
Nothing, like, I feel like I didn't do anything worse
We
than
should
you.
show him that
Here's
one
that
about the
clip of the
spider
week.
with the dildo. Remember?
Oh yeah, drunk. Here's Sam getting drunk and talking about the scariest thing that he can imagine is a
That's
6 foot tall
great.
spider with a strap on.
I think it was 8 foot tall.
It might have been 8 foot.
I thought that was just a
Totally
better
forgot
way
about that.
to scare people during Halloween.
Yeah, it was
This is
scary
true.
people during Halloween, but
It was like nobody does anything during Halloween that's actually scary. But if you had a giant 8 foot tall spider with a strap on, like that inherently is scary. Like, what's that spider up to? Like, so yeah, it was like I still stand by those words. Years later, that is just fucking fact, okay? Like,
Oh, God. All right. Well, I think now's a good time to find out what's going on. Not with
8 foot tall
spiders.
spider with
dildos.
strap-on. No.
Not with spiders and strap-ons.
You know, it could be in Hellboy though, if we're gonna be real
It's
honest.
true. Before we get to Hellboy, because I know you have opinions on the trailer,
Yeah.
there was some fan art that I wanted to show off.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah, if we could bring that up. Unfortunately, did not write the name of the guy who did it, but it should be right here. John Creech. Made
Oh, that's
his own
really cool.
custom Thanos Darkseid thumbnail,
It's
which
awesome.
is really neat.
dope, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I really
I got
like.
the chin. The chin's so important.
He even got the
Thanos.
slap chop chin.
The slap-
Yeah, everyone, man, ever since the movie, like they went really ham with the chin.
I mean, his chin's always been like that.
Yeah, but like I feel like it's getting exaggerated more and more, and eventually he's just gonna be Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll just. Have
Yeah.
I appreciate that Darkseid is still just ugly as fuck.
Yep.
Like DC never tried to make him cool looking.
Nope.
Turtle Man is what we were calling
Yeah.
him.
It's
It's got those cracks, man.
I
Like, and also, how fucking ineffective is that helmet? Like, that mug like leaves most his head open for wounds.
what
Like,
even is it?
I don't
don't know.
It's just like the back dome plate.
It looks
So
like he's got
silly.
like it looks like RoboCop without the visor.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Like that's
exactly.
it's like that like old 60s, 50s sort of spacesuit idea where with it
Yeah.
coming up and then the big
where it
dome.
comes
from.
That's where it
Yeah.
comes from.
Yeah.
And they've just never updated it because he just looks stupid and terrifying at the same time.
What was really funny was when you go and look at the origin story and his brother Drax, his brother actually was rocking that before he even got the Omega effect. That look was his brother's look, and then he kind of apes it whenever.
I mean, the Eternals just have wonderful fashion.
Did he just
Or not
say-
Eternals, sorry. The new gods just have wonderful
Yeah.
fashion.
he did such a good job with the colors. Like
they're really good.
Yeah.
awesome.
I
job.
also appreciate that he made a Twitter just to share this with us.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Good on him.
Well,
Welcome
cool.
to
Welcome
the
to
fray.
Twitter, and thanks for your incredible artistic talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever make
John.
any more, let us know
Send it
using
over.
hashtag DeathBattleCast. Anybody making any art, let us know using hashtag DeathBattleCast. We love checking that stuff out. and
Superman
sharing
on
it.
Yeah.
Falcor.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So Sean,
not just a
and
Photoshop.
everybody here. Did everybody here
Hellboy.
watch the Hellboy trailer?
You know what I have to say about it?
I did not.
I'm not excited.
Oh no.
I think that the creature, and this is a concern I had before I ever saw the trailer, was like, can the creature effects ever measure up to what Del Toro is
Toro's?
capable of?
Probably not.
Probably not. But they actually look pretty good. I think the designs look pretty
I don't
good.
know.
But I hate the way the trailer starts, because it starts with that musical cue, and they walk in, and then it hard cuts to the logo. And then it's a completely different vibe when the actual trailer starts. And they work their way back to that scene. And that really bothers me.
Oh, you're talking about the little teaser. That
The little
they have for
teaser,
the
right?
Ads?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just YouTube does this thing where when they post it on YouTube, that also ties it into the ads for like the 15-second ads or whatever.
It bugged
so
me.
it'll
It
have
ruined
the
the
little bit,
trailer for me,
and then
though.
it'll have the trailer. Yeah. It
Who's
sucks.
playing Hellboy in this again?
David Harbour.
Yeah, the guy from Stranger Things, the sheriff.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And I'll be honest with you, he seems pretty good.
Yeah,
I think
they'll be
Hellboy,
fine.
I think he seems pretty good.
I think everybody's gonna miss Ron Perlman's
Sure.
voice specifically.
Oh, of course. And like,
And his
I
kinda
was reading an
demeanor.
article.
He's just kinda got
I mean,
this,
it's
like,
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just so like affable.
Yeah, I was reading an article that apparently the director of the first Hellboy like pushed for years to get Ron Perlman to be Hellboy. Like it was a whole
Yes.
It was the right choice. But
Yeah,
my
'cause
bigger thing is like,
he's in a bunch of Del Toro movies.
I'm worried it's gonna have the Hercules effect, where you see all these cool monsters that he's fighting, but then when you actually watch the movie, the fight scenes are just as short as they are in the trailer, where it's just like flashbacks or clips or like a montage, sizzle reel.
It does seem kind of dense. Like there's a lot
There's a
that's gonna
lot
be happening
going
in this
on.
movie.
And then you got Mila Jovovich.
Mia Jovovich. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that screenshot on Reddit.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, everybody's British and it has a very kind of British feel, so at least it will feel very different from the Del Toro trilogy that never was.
I don't know.
But
Man,
I
getting
don't
that
know if it's
makeup
gonna
must be a
good
nightmare.
movie.
What is she again? She's like the Blood Witch or whatever.
Mila Jovovich?
Yeah,
She's the
Blood Queen.
Yeah, the Blood Queen.
That's it.
Blood Queen, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm.
Nothing impressed me. I was just like, okay,
Well, you mentioned
that
something.
seems like a B Hell movie or Hellboy movie.
Like B Hell
B
movie.
movie.
I don't know.
You mentioned something after watching it that I thought resonated with me. You said that you felt like the trailer was pitching something other than what the actual movie was going to be. Like
Yes.
the actual movie is going to be different than this.
Yes. At least I'm
specifically-
hoping.
Kind of like,
I didn't like the trailer very much.
kind
Like
of
in a good way or a bad way?
Like Suicide Squad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that was the opposite.
Well, that was the trailer. Looked great, and everybody freaked out about it. And they were like, "Uh-oh, change the movie quick, make
Yeah.
it more like that trailer."
Yeah. And then that had a really negative effect because it
Yes,
felt
it
like
did.
it was two movies that kind of got squished into each
So
other.
literally, it was two movies.
Yes, it was.
Squished into each other.
Where this
different
one, it
narratives.
just feels like I don't know what story they're trying to tell. And right now, it just seems more like a montage of like, look how badass he is. And also, it's got some comedy and it's got some drama and maybe a tad of romance. And it's just like,
Listen, in the landscape nowadays, if they did a really good job and they made a really good movie, I could see it succeeding. Like I remember, I was so skeptical of Guardians of the Galaxy because when they announced that, I was like, I get it. They're right in this like hype train of all like the Marvel movies that are happening right now. But I'm like, but no one, in most circles, no one fucking knows who the Guardians of the Galaxy is. And I was so worried it was going to be so obscure and it would bomb. And they did a fucking incredible job, and it's probably my favorite Marvel movie of all time. And
That's
so like,
different. I think they had with that, it was like, hey, there's no bar. No one gives a shit about the Guardians of the Galaxy at this point in time. Like, just introduce the audience to something new. We've already had a arguably quite good Hellboy that we all kind of like. Like, it's not
Yeah.
the fucking most amazing, but it's pretty good.
but
As far
if
as-
that had aired now,
Hellboy
It's
2,
got a
not
good
so
fan base
much.
as well. Like,
But
both
Hellboy 1 was pretty solid. And, like, there was a lot of dope shit about it, and this one just looks like, they can fuck that up.
yeah.
And it's like, I don't personally care. It's a movie. I'm not, gonna go cry or anything, but it just seems like, and they're not doing an origin story. they're not doing like a bigger character arc or anything of Hellboy's that at least I know of is important to the character. It's just like I think they're just doing like a here's an action movie.
Here's an adventure
with a hero
with
you
Hellboy.
kind of know.
Yeah, and
Okay.
like I think that's part of the problem too. Is like they introduced Abe Sapien already, and like arguably he's a great part of that Hellboy series. So like to not have any of that here, have all of Hellboy's peers be just humans for the most part. It's kind of like okay, well it's not
As far as we know.
As far as we know,
It's
all I can
possible
go
there's
on is
more.
what I know.
You know what always gets muddled in my mind?
No.
It's the original Hellboy movie and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why.
That gets muddled.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
it's a
Why?
well, it deals in the fantastical and like the Nazi like occult kind of stuff. Isn't the League got bits of that in there too?
Yeah, like
yeah.
for a
It's got
little
the
bit,
fantastical thing going on.
but it's also got like Dorian Gray and shit,
Well, that's true.
and Sean Connery.
And a
Yeah.
vampire lady. Can't remember
I don't
who
know.
played that at.
I don't know. It just always that's always been there.
I could see you thinking Hellboy is like part of it.
Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like it is.
Like it's their cinematic
Yeah.
universe, even though it has nothing to do with each other.
Right.
Wait, like the dark universe with the mummy? Is that what that is?
Oh God, don't the Tom Cruise mummy thing. I still
Is
can't
this the
believe.
next
Is this
movie?
the
Ah,
dark universe thing?
I still can't believe they're trying to do
What
that.
happened to that?
Oh,
idea?
oh,
so
they
weird.
canned that.
Yeah.
That's no longer happening.
Really?
Did they
As far
really?
as I know, the Dark Universe isn't a thing anymore.
All right.
I can
Crazy.
check like real fast, but I'm pretty sure that was canned like
the Black Lagoon.
right after.
Dracula.
Well, it's so weird watching that. I watched it on a plane. I was flying and saw the Tom Cruise mummy movie, and then you could really feel it when he was in there and like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which was Russell Crowe, right?
I never watched it, I'll be honest.
No.
But I think it might have been. I'm pretty sure it was Russell Crowe. I'll look it up. Anyway, yeah, like you could just feel during that scene where they're really trying to ham it up, like this is gonna be a thing. And like Van Helsing, I think was I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think the Dark Universe
He's dead.
has been ended.
Great.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, all right.
What was in the Dark Universe besides?
It was all the
those?
movie.
It was all the movie
It was
monsters.
Classic. Yeah,
it
they
was
only got the mummy.
Jekyll and Hyde.
The next one was going to be Bride of Frankenstein. I think that was the next
Okay, all right.
one. Yeah.
Whatever they want.
And your general lack of interest there is indicative of why it was canceled.
But I see a couple people asking in the chat to get opinions on Spider-Verse. I know you've seen it. I don't know.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna take care of this.
I haven't seen it either. So
It's probably
spoilers,
the best
but
animated movie that I've ever seen.
I've heard
That's
it.
high praise.
I've heard it's quite good. I'm still very sad that I did not get a pair of the Jordans that came out with it. I tried desperately.
Nice too. In that
Yeah,
If
they-
somebody has access to a pair in 9.5, please send them to Sam.
or 10. I wear
Or
10,
10.
usually.
Here's the thing about that movie.
Real quick.
Everybody's all about the art style and the unique. They animate on twos a lot and stuff like that. And just talking about the visual component of that. The best part of the movie is the script. They do what Justice League could not do. They create a movie with 4 or 5 new Spider-Men that you know nothing about, and they're able to introduce them in a cohesive way that feels natural to the story. And they even have like a gimmick that they use to do it, and they use it for every single Spider-Man, and it never falls flat once.
Really?
It's fantastic. And in the process, they tell a great story, and Kingpin is a very compelling and relatable villain, and it's one of the best interpretations of him.
Awesome.
He just
I think,
looks
I'm pretty
so
sure
cartoony.
Austin and I are
just
going to go
giant.
see it over this Christmas break.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I recommend
Yeah.
everybody see it.
I'm gonna take
Almost a
Kira to it,
Spider-Man.
which that's what I'm most excited about. I was like, it's PG? Cool. I'm gonna take my daughter to like a comic thing, and it's gonna be great.
Has she seen any of the Spider-Man movies or anything like
No,
that? Oh, this will be her first.
this will be here for. I mean, she knows about Spider-Man.
Sure,
and
but like
stuff.
movie experience.
Yeah, she's seen Guardians 1 when she was younger, and we were kind of like, we were making sure we were.
Fast forward a couple
Yeah, exactly. But for the most part, she hasn't seen a lot of that stuff because she's pretty sensitive.
It does
so-
have, and I won't spoil it, but a death scene that got me like goosebumps.
Oh, cool. She's still really freaked out about death ever since her
that's how I was
in-laws
just kinda
told
letting
her
you
that
know.
death is a real thing, that her parents will die when we were in fucking Japan. It was
Why,
awesome.
though?
No, that's true. But then she's like, well, my mommy and daddy aren't going to die right away, right? Not until a long time. And then my in-law was like, oh, my mom died when I was a little girl, and so did the neighbors. That was awesome. That hasn't created a complex for 3 years.
It was after watching Land Before Time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Land Before Time got her freaked out about death, and
what
that
a
was her thing.
fucking banger with Land Before Time, though. Like, that is the movie to fuck shit up with.
Is that one or Lion King?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Those are the perfect movies to teach a child about death, like in a constructive manner.
Yeah, but you don't then tell them when your parents are out of town that, like, yeah, who knows? They might die tomorrow.
Life is strange.
Yeah, life's crazy. Like, we've always been super honest with them.
T-Rex could just show up and bite their head off.
You never know.
Lightning bolt could hit.
My mom died when I was your age. Like, that's...
A bunch of wildebeest could just run through the street. Who knows?
Like, so, like, she doesn't even like hearing songs that have, like, the word die or death in them. She gets freaked out. Like, anyway, so that'll be fun. I'll deal with that.
Just giving you a heads up about
But it's funny you mentioned Spider-Verse, because April the other day, and it's so funny because, like, April's, like, not out of touch with, like, nerd culture, you know, like, we've played video games forever and, like, things like that. But she turned to me the other night, and she's just like, so I saw the trailer for the thing. There's a female Spider-Man? And I was like,
Yeah.
there's been a couple, but like, but this is Spider-Gwen, and she's like, no, I think it's better. And then she's like, Gwen, and I was like, yeah, it's off of Gwen Stacy because Gwen Stacy's one of Peter Parker's love interests. She's like, what? I thought his love interest was the weed chick. I was like, yeah, and I was like, yes, Mary Jane Watson is like the main one, but there's been many. She's like, what? And I'm like, here's the list of Peter Parker's love interests. And I'm like, and then they wanted to do this thing where Gwen Stacy got like spider powers, and they made a really fucking cool aesthetic for Spider-Gwen, and everyone lost their fucking mind, and it's becoming a thing now. And she was like, well, that's crazy. Same night, I don't know how it got brought up, but I was like, oh, it's literally in this. For some reason, there was an amalgamation of like RT animated properties and like some other thing, and for some reason, it made me call to it. I was like this, and like blah blah blah, and like red versus blue, and she goes like, "That's Iron Man."
With the Master
This
Chief?
is Sarge.
Okay. yeah.
Red versus blue. And I'm just like,
Spartan
what is
soldier?
happening tonight? Yeah, because he's red and he's got the gold visor. And I was like, that's Sarge. From Red versus blue. She's like, that's Iron Man.
Oh no.
I was like, I can see where you're going, but let me show you a picture of Iron Man, which she knows.
How many glasses of wine deep was she?
She has a couple.
I was gonna say.
I think that clears the whole
No,
thing
she
up.
wasn't.
point.
No, because she got like really defensive about it. Like, this is Iron Man. She's like, oh, please. Red with the gold face. Like, come on. I'm like, you know Halo. It took away a lot of my time with you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Exactly.
Right, like-
She was a few glasses deep. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Perfect sense.
I could see that. If you're a few glasses in, I can see a bit.
They're pretty similar, if we're gonna be honest. It's just power armor. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's a person in big bulky armor with the same colors.
yeah, like.
Yeah, cool. That's
huge-
iron.
But she knows it. How many times did like, and bless her heart, she's wonderful. How many times did she have to sit there when we were just playing Halo?
Yeah, exactly. She probably wasn't fucking looking at the screen, dude. She was doing her own thing. Like, what the fuck do you mean? She wasn't just watching us play
right.
Halo for years. She was on her laptop doing her own thing.
Well,
Like,
point is, if you haven't seen Spider-Verse yet, we got a glowing recommendation.
It's fantastic.
All of us are going to go see it because it sounds like it's fucking dope. So,
Really good.
Yeah.
Do that.
Spider-Verse, yes. Hellboy, we'll see. We'll see. It's just one trailer. Maybe,
just one
maybe
trailer.
it'll blow us away. Maybe it'll surprise us.
yeah,
Spider-Verse,
don't
yes.
judge a movie
Hellboy,
by its
mess.
trailer.
We'll see.
Right. All right. It's time
wanted
for
to
the
make it
community death battle. This week's battle is Thor versus Vegeta.
Ooh, blue Vegeta too.
Any
yeah.
Vegeta that you want, really. I mean. So you guys had 2 weeks to come up with arguments for this one because we were out last week. So I'm expecting some good ones, guys. All right. And this has been a matchup that has been requested for Death Battle for quite a while, and I've been kind of interested in exploring it. Maybe not like anytime soon because we just had Thor like
Yeah.
about a year ago, but maybe one
Like
day.
the beginning of
check it
this
out.
year, wasn't it?
We'll see.
It was
'cause
like near the end of last year.
Oh, okay.
So we're about a little over a year past that.
Okay.
But we've got answers from you guys. You can always use the hashtag DeathBattleCast to let us know who you think wins a community death battle and tell us why. So we have an answer for Thor from William. And let's bring that up. William says that Thor can shatter planets with his raw strength and survive the gravitational pressure of a neutron star. Meanwhile, Vegeta's died to planetary attacks as recently as Resurrection F. It'd be a close fight, but Vegeta will end up paying the princely price.
I love the puns they work in.
There you
It's
go.
great.
And Vegeta did die when Frieza blew up the Earth in that
Yep.
movie.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
So they wound back time, and then Goku stole his
Yeah.
thunder. That was fun.
I think,
F is for fan service, right? Is
yeah,
that how that movie works?
pretty much. That
It's more like Resurrection. Fuck you, Vegeta.
pretty much. God, he was so close to getting.
I
involved.
know. I
So
wanted
sad.
it so bad for him. Yeah.
We've talked about this before.
I know. It's a recurring
Literally,
issue.
Dragon Ball Z, just anyone else besides Goku, could we please, like, that's all.
Vegeta.
I don't care if fucking Bulma rolls up and saves the day, as long as it's not
Fine,
fucking
just
Goku.
not
again.
Goku.
Like,
All right.
yeah, god damn.
But let's talk about Vegeta. Let's get the Vegeta answer from Daniel C. Maloney II.
Nice.
He says Vegeta wins because while Thor is a god, Vegeta can push himself past his own limits that already were god level. Vegeta destroys planets with a fraction of his power, while Thor needs to put some real effort into it and relies on his hammer. Vegeta needs no weapon.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So, pointers on these. The first things that come to my mind is Vegeta being killed by a planet level attack. I think, and this is also the same movie where Goku is shot with a laser.
I was literally just about to say that.
Right.
Goku wasn't paying attention and got shot in the back with a gun and died.
So
that is how it kind of works, though. To
Well,
be fair, the way
I know, they have to
he
put up their
works
key,
as a
I know.
defense,
Right, exactly.
they are kind of susceptible to surprise attacks.
Ki is not a. It is not always active, just whenever
Yeah.
they're not thinking about it. They have to actively bring it out and actively protect themselves and focus on it.
Right.
So that's why in Dragon Ball Z, Krillin throws a rock at Super Saiyan Goku and it just conks him on the head. And he's like, what the fuck?
What the hell? Yeah, yeah.
Like, because he just wasn't paying attention. He was relaxing at that point.
Can Thor teleport? I cannot remember if that is like part of his.
I don't think so. There might have been. I can absolutely see a period of
Remember
time
you
where they
worked
let
on
him
that
just
episode.
like ride a bolt of lightning or something.
Yeah.
But
Thor can teleport that way. He calls the bolt of lightning
And then he
and
rides
has
it,
a
right?
storm. I know that, but like
Because Vegeta has actually.
doesn't-
instant
He's not
execution
Raiden,
at this
if that's what
point,
you're
right?
He's had it-
No,
well-
it's still just a Goku thing.
He doesn't have instant.
he does have some sort of teleportation in like the in-between dimension where whatever Middle Earth and stuff is. Not Middle Earth, Midgar.
Midgar, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys caught my look at the Middle Earth. The fuck you saying? Like,
But I don't know if that's because he has part of the thing that Heimdall has for a temporary amount of time. I can't really remember.
oh, the bridge.
Something- yeah.
Why am I blanking on the name of that?
The Heimdall power or the Odin Force?
Well, he
Thor
definitely
Force.
teleports when he has the Odin Force. I'm pretty
Yeah.
like that makes sense.
Thor's been through a bunch of different power iterations.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like Thor's probably got this one in the bag.
I feel like the same thing, but I feel that they voted for Vegeta, so I'm torn as to what I want to weigh in on.
no,
You need to vote who you think would win. You can't be like, oh, I'm gonna play the odds. Odds are in favor
Fine.
of the Dragon Ball character.
I'm gonna say Thor.
My thing is, and like this is kind of like it's a little bit based on how the characters actually would work. Is like they would start, and Vegeta
Be a cocky dick.
would greatly underestimate him
This is true.
and go in base form, and one hit from Mjolnir would decimate him.
Yeah. Well, Vegeta would probably comment on the size of the hammer. You know, like, you call that a hammer?
Yeah.
And then it's just kablah! And
Yeah.
it just fucking explodes into pieces.
Yeah, like pretty much that. If Vegeta started blue, like then we probably have a real fight. But if Vegeta's just like, hey bruh, I'm a base form it, like he does literally every
Every
fight.
time.
There is precedence for this exact concept
That's true.
in every single episode of Dragon Ball. He would probably just get bodied. But I don't know.
Unless
I'm gonna
Thor held back
vote
too.
Vegeta because Vegeta is a better character.
All right? He's playing the system. He knows they're going to fucking...
Well, okay.
No,
Dude,
he's
I'm
trying to
stunned.
make some kind of weird argument about like, oh well, I believe in the character and not who's necessarily strong.
Well, no, I mean, I kind of think Vegeta could win. It like
But I think
Also, here's the thing.
could Thor survive Vegeta's self-destruct, which I'm pretty sure he could.
Could Thor survive it? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Vegeta's at a point where he no longer needs to do that, though.
That's true.
To output that much power. He did that to Boo just because he didn't have the same kind of power level he has now.
But would it be an even greater explosion if he did it now?
I mean, he could. Apparently, that's just a thing Dragon Ball characters can do. They just explode all their energy everywhere.
Oh, that sounded bad.
Just explode.
It's everywhere.
All over the place.
God, I got this.
All the Dragon Ball characters
Prints
know
all
how to
over me.
do that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
She said I've
Chaozu's
got
been doing
prints
it
all
for
over
fucking
me.
ages.
That's Chaozu's like trademark move.
Chaozu, that's Chaozu's go-to.
God, and I hate it in Dragon Ball Fighters. You're having like fun time, everything's good, and then somebody's just like, Chaozu, and you're like, you bitch! And then you
And then he dies.
But
You can't even get your revenge. He's already dead.
I think,
dead.
like, it's pretty much, can Vegeta make a Ki Blast strong enough to destroy, like, Thor, like, to sever spine from brain kind of thing?
And I don't believe he can.
Yeah, because his healing factor is also ludicrous. Like, it's had it where, like, he's hit a huge blast that's literally blown off, like, his muscular structure, and then it's just come back.
Yep.
So it's like, he would need to be instantly killed. Like, that was one of the big reasons why Wonder Woman was able to, like, win that fight, was because Wonder Woman can instantly kill him with her sword. Like,
Yep.
there's no questions, can sever that connection, and he is dead. Like, so there's, like, a point, like, if Vegeta can do that somehow, like, if the Destructo Disc works, Vegeta might have that shit.
Counter argument to him being in base form, though. Sensing power level. Could he not sense that Thor is incredibly powerful?
There is a new thing, and I don't know how much it works, but you can't sense godly ki and godly power. So Thor being a
Well, he
god, I
can,
don't know.
Because he's got it.
No, they can sense, like,
Can he not? I thought they could sense God Ki.
Once they are in God form.
Yeah.
I don't
don't know.
know. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know the
'Cause
most
he could
about.
sense Beerus's.
Yeah,
or
God
Goku's
Ki's
could
like,
sense Beerus's after
yeah,
he became
God Ki's
God.
mad new, and I don't know a lot of the ways.
God
how-
Key is
God
mad
Key,
new.
mad new.
Sam,
it is.
God
2018.
Key, mad
It's pretty
new.
Like, I mean, it's
But
just.
then we're also applying the key rules to Thor, who doesn't use key that way and
Yeah.
whatnot. So
Well, get in real life.
But so you're Vegeta,
No, Thor.
Thor,
Because I got called out on gaming the system.
Thor.
Thor.
I kind of think Vegeta, like.
He doesn't sound sure about it, though.
walking-
I don't know.
I
I honestly do
Vegeta-
think Destructo Disc might work. Because the thing
Yeah.
is like, Thor is not so insanely durable that he can't be cut by swords and shit. It's just that he heals almost instantly. And a Destructo Disc would probably be.
Destructo Stiff?
Destructo
That's a
Stiffy is
different thing.
battle, but a Destructo Disc could possibly decapitate him and kill him.
Or he just hits him with a final
not gonna
blast
get
and
hit
disintegrates
by
his
it,
whole
though.
body. Whatever.
Yeah,
that works too.
if it
Destructo
can
Disc is
incinerate his
slow
whole
as
body
shit.
fast enough.
Thor's not going to get hit by it.
Vegeta doesn't even fucking use the destructor.
And he doesn't even, right?
Just disintegrate his face off. It's fine.
I'm
Whatever.
pretty sure Vegeta's used Destructo Disc recently.
Everybody's using
Yeah,
it. So
like it's kind of like
nobody
a thing.
likes it.
Yeah, but they use them for a reason because they dice people up and shit.
And it's the one good thing that Krillin's done.
yeah.
For like,
Never.
from
No.
a attack and ability standpoint.
I was gonna say.
There you go.
Not as a character. I like
He
Krillin a
did
lot.
marry that android.
Yeah, he did.
I'm gonna say Vegeta. I think he is. While his pride is a problem, it is more so a problem early on in his story, and I think he's smart enough to realize that Thor is somebody to take seriously. I think he'll figure it out early enough to not.
Well,
maybe he'll lose an
probably-
arm, like
I don't know,
Android
'cause
18.
Thor is also
Oh,
a piece
dude.
of shit. 'Cause
So good.
like, whenever Thor's like, oh, it's time to fight, he's just like, I'll make some lightning to look cool. And like that might be the giveaway.
Yeah,
like
that's-
when somebody calls
that's
down
true.
lightning, you're like, oh, I guess we're not
Yeah,
playing.
Thor
games
is also very much like, I am Thor. I'm
Yeah.
the god of thunder. Fear me. I'm the most powerful shit
Well,
alive.
what's Vegeta gonna do against Mjolnir? There's no fucking way. It will obliterate
I
him.
would say-
not
say-
get close to it. He just
Well,
shoots.
also,
It's so fast.
that's the thing. Like, yeah, it's fast, but like if you look at a lot of the like high-end DB characters, like we're talking really stupid fucking fast.
This is why I was asking about the teleportation.
like Goku can fuck with Hit, who does like shit with time. Like he's like he goes back in time to hit you, and Goku dodges it. Like The fuck we saying here? Like that's quick, like,
how do you fucking deal with that? It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's nuts.
Let's
It's nuts.
see what they.
All right, yeah, let's bring up the
end it.
poll.
It's
We got a
50-50.
tie here, actually.
Nope. See, I fucking told you.
yeah, it's Vegeta.
Because the community is smart. They know who would win.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I still think Thor would win most scenarios of that.
Then you
fight.
should have voted for Thor, you motherfucker. You're gaming the system. You knew, just like I did, and I got called out for it.
I stand by Thor.
Hell.
I don't care about the system.
Damn the man.
All right.
That handsome Thor.
Well, thank you guys for voting.
Sean votes for different reasons.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It is Chris Hemsworth.
yeah.
Yep, there it is.
That's fair.
We are not doing a Death Battle cast next week, but we will be back for the first weekend of the new year. So I figured for this upcoming Death Battle cast,
Santa versus
or community
Jesus.
Death Battle.
What?
No.
No.
It'll be
One
the
of
new
these
year.
days.
No. We should do a matchup worthy of a season finale because it's kind of the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
Santa versus Jesus.
Yeah,
Not
that's what I'm
Santa
saying.
versus-
Santa versus Jesus. I'm just throwing it out.
No, I'm. God damn it! I mean, now they're gonna do it anyway. But
Yes, they are. Happy holidays to you all.
Thing, just shut them down. What
We will find out who the
thing
reason
I have
for the
written
season
down
really
that
is.
is going to be the season finale of the community death battles is Galactus versus Unicron.
Oh, and Santa and Jesus.
Well, they can
Which
help
one's,
out.
which one's Santa and which one's Jesus?
That is the scariest picture of Unicron I've
really
ever
is.
seen in my life.
It's really fun. Also, if you take like, I think it's DC's God. Like, if you take that one, like it's really funny because he has like, if you go to this wiki, he has a list of weaknesses. And it's like just really, and he's like got alcoholism as one of them.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
It's really.
Did you ever do a desk up on that? Because we were talking.
No,
yeah.
no.
We thought about it.
All right. Well, this is a death battle that we've had requests for since the beginning, and I think we promised to do it at some point. So
We will.
We better do it at some point. But I would love to know what you guys think of it. Let us know who you think wins Galactus versus Unicron using the hashtag DeathBattleCast on Twitter.
Jesus.
There will be a poll up on the ScrewAttack Twitter as well for you to vote, and then we will take that poll and find out who wins potentially. But of course, the community death battle is, very laid back and not necessarily the deciding factor. But I think it's an interesting starting point to see where we get and where it ends up.
Well, a lot of times it's
Take it
sparked
to the
debate from us, and then we're like, now we have to do this. Like,
There are plenty of death battles that have actually started as community death battles. A couple ones this year, I believe.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe this will be another one.
one
it's
that-
definitely going to. We're going to do this episode at some point.
We 100% will.
Yeah.
The one that I really want to see, though, that came from a community death battle is the cereal mascot battle royale. That's my hands down favorite.
That's
I
a
want
throwback.
that so bad.
Maybe we should do a rematch.
2 scoops.
Maybe we should close out the show.
Maybe you should fuck right off, Sam. Don't listen to him.
Merry Christmas, happy
Christmas
holidays.
to
Happy holidays
all.
to whatever you celebrate. We appreciate you. And thank you so
And
much.
I guess fuck off.
No, just
No, just
enjoy
Sam.
your Christmas.